call the Miami Valley Communications Council Board meeting on Wednesday, May 18th to order. If you'd please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. If we could start off with a roll call. Brian, can we start with you?
Yep. Brian Wofsig, City of Germantown.
Joanne Rao, City of Centerville.
Brooks Compton, City of Centerville.
Keith Tilton, City of West Carrollton.
Lisa Duvall, City of Kettering.
George Bailiff, City of Kettering.
Bob Scott, City of Kettering.
Don Pritchett, City of Moraine.
Jay Weiskircher, MVCC staff.
And Rob Stevens, Oakwood. And yes, I'd also like to welcome Mayor Michelle Collins from Miamisburg via Zoom. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, there she is. Sorry, Michelle. I didn't know if we had audio for you. Okay. Now I'd like to approve the April 20th, 2022 board meeting minutes.
Second.
A motion?
Motion to
There
approve.
it is, yes.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Excellent, thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Richard Diaz, our government producer, to come up with some special presentations.
Thank you, everyone. I am happy to be here today because we are recognizing 3 volunteers who've contributed a lot of time and a lot of years to MVCC, and we are here to recognize that today. So some context, we've been doing the MVCC Game of the Week football and basketball seasons since 2009. So we are entering into our 14th season. And over that time, we've had a lot of technology changes that have improved how we broadcast games. But I would say our biggest change has been we've brought in an announcing team who year after year have really studied their craft and brought a level of professionalism that I don't think high school sports has seen in this region for quite some time. And when I mention these 3 announcers, they have very unique skill sets because basketball is very fast-paced and action-driven, calling the action, and football is very storytelling and filling all the space around the plays. So we ask our 3 announcers here to do a lot of different things as they're presenting these sports to our viewers online and, of course, on our channels. And our 3 announcers do more than just call the games. They spend a lot of time studying the rosters, interviewing players, interviewing coaches, following them on social media, because there's no easy way of collecting that stuff without a lot of hard work for local sports. So I'm going to be recognizing 3 people here today. We have Andy Horton, who's been with us since 2009, and he's what I call our basketball specialist. When he calls that, you can really sense the enthusiasm in here. So I'm going to bring Andy up first, and Rob, if you don't mind coming up here, we'll hand them the award.
There it is. Andy, congratulations.
Thank you very much,
Thank you very
sir.
much for all your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And Jeff Allen has been announcing games for us for 5 years. And the one thing I know about Jeff is that he is really good at play-by-play for both. And he is the person who will do a lot of mentoring for student announcers when we have Fairmont Interactive Media students or people from West Carrollton or Centerville who want to come learn the craft. Him, along with Jared, mentor those students to tell the games as well. So Jeff, if you can come up here, please.
Congratulations, Jeff. Well deserved.
Appreciate all you guys. Thank you.
And we'll be bringing up Jared Bergstrom in a second, but something on Jared. He just called his 100th basketball game this past season, and he has now been calling our games for 10 years. And I did the rough estimate on his hours. That's 1,100 volunteer hours just calling the games alone, which is a tremendous amount of work. But in addition to that, Jeff helps us formulate the schedules for our games, He helps us produce the matchups, does the coach's corner and things like that. And one thing I've always been impressed with is that seconds after a game, he'll be ready to do an interview with the coach in that moment and really ask the right questions to convey that to our audience. So I'm happy to bring Jared up here, recognizing both his years of service and his announcing with the 2 awards that we have for Jared Bergstrom.
Jared, well done. Congratulations. Well done. See you on here.
That's for 10 years of service.
10 years. Very good.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, actually, I do listen to many of the games, and they do a wonderful job. And I can actually speak to it personally because back in 2009, 2010, I actually announced a few of the games. I did play-by-play because I got out of coaching, and they asked me to do a few of the Oakwood games. And 2 things. 1, it's a lot harder than you think it is. You know, even if you know the game, you know, it's very difficult. And 2, thank goodness they have a team now because they're so much better than I used to be. You know, so well done. Keep up the good work, guys. Great job. Okay, now we have some legislation. First one up is Resolution 2022-006, authorizing the Executive Director to enter into an agreement to sell Horizon approximately 34 miles of empty conduit installed during the construction of the first and second phases of the MVCC Gateway Fiber Network project. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so moved. Thank you. Second, Resolution 2022-007, creating a technology fund for revenue generated through the sale and/or lease of conduit and excess fiber infrastructure associated with the MVCC Gateway Fiber Network project.
Move approval.
Second?
Second.
There it is. Any discussion on this?
Just one quick question. If it was in the earlier report discussed, or I missed it, is there going to be like a percentile or a goal for what the fund should be?
Nothing has been specified yet, Bob. If that's something that either this board or GovTech decides to do at a later date, we can certainly do that. If there's some parameters. Right.
Established.
Nothing at this point.
Okay. Like a lot of times they're a percentile of the operating expenditures or whatever.
Understand.
Anything else? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent, so passed. Okay, moving on. We've got a couple items under old business. The FTTH project update. Jay.
Okay. Had a discussion with officials from Point Broadband about 3 weeks ago on the fiber to the home project, and they confirmed with me that they will be starting construction in the cities of Centerville and Kettering in September. The hope is that probably by late 2023 then they will be moving into the other 4 communities as well. A lot of this has to do with the shortage of locators, people who go out and find the underground utilities, and also has to do with the shortage of boring crews, being that there's so much work currently taking place in this area. So I think they're going to try to start slowly, hopefully ramp up by the end of this year in terms of the work in Kettering and Centerville, and again, then they'll be in the other 4 cities later in 2023. The plan still is to complete this within 3 years, so hopefully in 2025 this project sometime in the fall of that year will be fully completed. I believe this was mentioned last time, but they do about 500 homes at a time when they do an area, and as soon as an area is completed, those people will immediately have access then to internet service. So for those people who have the construction going on in their neighborhood, Once that construction is completed, then anyone who wishes to have that particular internet service will have the ability then to contract at that time. So they will not have to wait until the entire community is completed. As we get closer to the September start date, we will obviously be sending out information to the two communities, and then those two communities can get that distributed to their citizens as they deem appropriate. Not sure right now exactly where they're going to start in either Centerville or Kettering, but we'll know more in a couple of months on that as well.
Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. Jay, tell us about some windows.
Okay. Mentioned last month that we received one bid for our window replacement project. We had budgeted $130,000. The loan bid came in at about $176,000. We'd had some discussions with the bidder to see if possibly we could work out a deal where perhaps we could purchase the materials this year and then schedule the installation for 2023. However, due to some storage considerations and also the fact that we couldn't get a guarantee on the labor rate for next year, we just decided to forego the project this year, and we'll just rebid it again, hopefully the first part of 2023, and hopefully be able to get more than one bid this time.
Good decision. Okay. Under new business, no financial report this month. Jay, do you have something on the Code Red?
Code Red. You know, we have this emergency warning system, Code Red, in all 8 of our member communities, and there are 4 communities, Washington Township, Silverton, Monroe, and one other that escapes me right now, that are also involved in the Code Red system. There is a component of Code Red that we currently don't have, that it's a weather warning system. And anytime the National Weather Service issues a weather bulletin for this area, then those persons who are part of Code Red would receive a warning. So we talked about this at the May 10 GovTech meeting. All the managers thought this was a wonderful idea and thought this was certainly an option that we should look at adding to our package. We checked, and we were able to do so even though we're about halfway through the contract year. There's a $3,000 annual expense associated with this, so if we wanted to add it right away, we would have to pay a prorated amount. So that would be roughly $1,800 or thereabouts. Rather than bill the member communities back this year, MVCC would just pick up that $1,800 expense, and then when we bill the communities next year for their participation, then that additional cost would be added on at that time. So the managers strongly recommended that we go forth with adding this weather component to the Code Red notification system. Be happy to try and answer any questions that you might have.
I have a question. So the National Weather Service issues a lot of warnings, and the ones that affect, like Kettering, wouldn't affect Monroe and vice versa, most likely. Will they be filtered in some way?
I think there's a way to do that, Lisa. Okay. I'm not nuanced in all the technology, but I think there is indeed a way to do that. So things that would impact us may not necessarily impact the cities closer to the Cincinnati area.
Okay.
On my internet now, which is Spectrum, periodically we get one of those warnings. It interrupts, whatever program you're watching, and you get the information. Is this the kind of thing that we're talking about? That would be in addition?
It would be in addition to that, George.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Kind of along the same lines as Lisa, is there a way, I don't know if this is through the Code Red app or if it's the automatic, phone call, but is there a way to filter those? You know, some of us, like, I don't want to get a phone call at 3 a.m. about a dense fog advisory or, you know, whatever that is. Can we tailor it to the severe, you know, tornado warnings or whatever?
We will have to check on that,
Okay.
Brian, and again, I'll be more than happy to share with you the details on that, because like you, I can certainly understand those concerns.
Okay.
So.
Thanks.
Yeah, especially dense fog in Germantown. Analogy. Very good. Okay. Jay?
Any other questions on that then? Next board meeting, you know, we've got some things going on with some of our fiber initiatives. Depending on how those work out, we may need to meet sometime over the summer. But if that doesn't happen, our next meeting then would be August the 17th. So there would be no scheduled meetings in either June or July. That's the best news that I'll give you today.
Thank you, Jay. And now it's your Executive Director's report.
Okay. I just wanted to mention just one more time, I know there were several board members who had the opportunity to attend the open house on May 4th, and we really appreciate that. We had more than 80 people show up. I'll be honest with you, I was very pleasantly surprised. I'm sure all of your jurisdictions over the years have done some open houses, and you never know how that's going to work out. So a lot of work went into this, and really, all things being equal, I thought we had a good turnout. One of the primary reasons we did this was to supplement our volunteer pool, and we had more than 20 people sign up for some of our classes, so that mission was accomplished. We will certainly follow up with those people and hopefully get them into, you know, some ongoing, you know, volunteer types of activities here. I want to thank again, the entire staff worked on this. They spent a lot of hours on the planning, and the production staff especially spearheaded this effort. So I just wanted to publicly congratulate and thank them for all their good work. And thanks again. I know everybody's busy, but I really appreciate the fact that we had a number of board members able to attend that evening, so very much appreciated. We do a lot of things here for regional benefit and benefit the local staffs that maybe we don't toot our horn enough about. But one of the things we did here just very recently was Centerville had an intern back in the summer of 2020, and they had that individual spend a large portion of his summer putting together information from 25 jurisdictions on salaries, every position from city council members down to the people in the public works department. And I can tell you from somebody who did many salary surveys over the years, to have that information at your fingertip is very handy, very useful, because it's a time-consuming process to get on the telephone and start calling jurisdictions and ask them for that type of information. So we were able to update all those numbers from 2020, and I would like to publicly thank and recognize Jenny Combs from our staff who did all that work. We sent that information out to the city managers and human resources directors from those 25 communities earlier this week, and I received a lot of nice comments back thanking us for doing that and updating that information. So again, that's just something that we do here that sometimes we don't blow our horn loud enough on, but you know, that's a big time saver for a lot of our our member and affiliate community. So I just wanted to thank Jen for all of her efforts, and also thank the Centerville intern, who I know spent a lot of his internship with the city putting that information together. A couple of other things just of a regional interest. I had mentioned to you that last Tuesday I served on a 14-member panel to talk about broadband initiatives and digital equity in the local area. The forum was sponsored by the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission and took place at Sinclair College. Like our open house, it too attracted about 80 attendees, and we talked about what is going on locally here with respect to broadband, and also the efforts underway to bring reliable and affordable internet service to underserved areas. Obviously, I talked about the Gateway Fiber Network and the initiatives that are underway with the City of Trotwood to try and extend the Gateway Fiber Network to Trotwood. So a lot of good exchange of information. It was a 4-hour session, and I think people very much appreciated the fact there's so many people in this area working on broadband and trying to bridge the digital divide, so to speak. So that was a good program. And then last Thursday was also a good program where we had around 70 mayors, managers, and other local government officials attended a forum sponsored by the Greater Dayton Mayors and Managers Association. That was held at the Dayton Convention Center. And that was an opportunity for the local governments to share with the state legislative delegations the challenges that communities are facing with respect to inflation, supply chain issues, and cost overruns on competitively bid capital improvement projects, I guess similar to what we experienced here with our little window replacement project. There was a PowerPoint presentation made, a copy of which I gave to everyone, so you should have that at your desk. Making the case for the local governments was Dayton City Manager Shelley Dickstein, Troy Service Safety Director Patrick Titterington, and Centerville City Manager Wayne Davis. This was by no means an adversarial type of get-together. It was basically an exchange of information and just to reinforce to the local legislators that it's important that we have and continue to work together. We talked a little bit about some of the legislative initiatives at the state level, several of which would have significant repercussions in terms of expenses that would be passed on to our local communities. So we talked about the fact that while we are getting some funds, in most cases from the federal level that's trickling down through the states, these are one-time funds, post-pandemic funds, and looking ahead, we're not going to have that money available on an ongoing basis. So again, we just need to work together and make sure that whatever legislation comes out at the state level considers both revenue and expenses that communities will incur at the local level. So if you have some time, just look through this. A lot of good information. Talks about some of the bidding experiences of several of our communities in terms of what they estimated projects would cost and what the projects actually did cost in terms of the bids that they received, what that meant in terms of being able to either push forward with the project or in some cases either cut down on what they're able to do or postpone, like we're postponing our window project until a later date. So again, a lot of work went into that program held last Thursday, and that whole effort was spearheaded initially by Patrick Titterington from Troy, and his Mayor Robin Oda is currently the president of the Dayton Area Mayors and Managers Association. So we had an excellent local turnout. Probably would have liked to seen some additional state legislators there, but I think, and Brooks was there. Brooks, there were about 5 that were present. Is that?
I think 3 state senators, and then, well, no, there were 4. Let's see, Mirage, Steve Huffman, Hackett, Andrea White.
Right. And
Missing.
there was someone there from Sherrod Brown's office,
Yeah, Mike was
as
there from
as
Sherrod's.
I recall,
Yeah.
as well. So we had a pretty good turnout. So I think the message was well received, and again, we wanted to communicate that we want to continue to work together. Patrick Titterington, fortunately, and I may have mentioned this to you, he's also the current president of the Ohio Municipal League. So we're very fortunate that we have a number of people in this area who are serving in executive positions in some of the statewide board and agencies. So that helps in terms of keeping our thumb on things that are happening at the state level. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
That's
So.
it. Well, thank you, Jay. I just have one comment today. Good correlation, segue off of what your comment. I just want to publicly thank all the city managers that we work with. Until you're really involved in local politics, you don't know how much time and effort they put into their jobs. And of course, it is their job. However, they're not there just 9 to 5. And the reason I want to call out the city managers today for a big thank you is that they are what make up what we refer to all the time as GovTech. So if people out there are curious as to what GovTech is a group of our city managers, and they make many recommendations and ideas, and things really many times hit them before they hit us, and they give us concepts, recommendations, ideas on what we need to approve. And without them, we wouldn't be here doing this. So the managers do a fabulous job. I mean, I know everyone in here has a manager that does fabulous work. I can only speak for mine. It's the only one I've worked with, and the hours he puts in, I can't imagine there's other managers that don't put in the same amount of time. So just want to publicly thank the city managers for all they do, especially on GovTech, which is one of their many, many roles to help us in making MVCC a strong organization. So thank you. Do we have any board comments? No comments? I see shaking heads. Okay. Jay, anything else?
I was just going to say, some of the communities are getting back into parades and things. I know that day in May is coming up.
that is
You want to
coming up
maybe
this weekend.
talk a
That's-
little bit about it? And
that's
I don't know if Mayor Collins wants to talk about, I think it's called Springfest now in Miamisburg, which is also this weekend.
Okay, well, we could give a little Oakwood shout out. That's fine. It's our biggest festival this Saturday. It's what we call that day in May. We have a big parade at noon. Pancake breakfast in the morning, I believe, starts at 8. There'll be games in the afternoon. There's a dog show, a car show. It's pretty much all day long up at the high school. And then Monday we have a new golf outing, second annual golf outing, where we have our silent auction. They've already made thousands of dollars. It's phenomenal how hard they work, and then our golf outing, and then a cocktail party afterwards at Dayton Country Club. So it's the Oakwood Rotary's largest fundraising event, and the city of Oakwood works with the Oakwood Rotary to make sure everything goes well in our small community. So it's a big event. So it is this Saturday, May 20, what is that, the 1st, and then Monday the 23rd is our golf outing. So Mayor Collins, did you have anything you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I'd love to. So this weekend also is our annual Spring Fest. I don't know, some of you remember it was always called the Spring Fling when I was a kid. It's the Spring Fest. It's held in our downtown Riverfront Park. It actually kicks off tomorrow. The Spring Fest Committee is hosting a pub crawl. It is called Hollywood Stars. So everyone is encouraged to dress up as their favorite Hollywood stars. I think there's 6 or 7 of our local adult beverage restaurants where you can go in and participate. Saturday morning is the parade. It steps off at 10 o'clock. It goes down Main Street in Miamisburg, ends up again in Riverfront Park. Saturday and Sunday are music. There's custom crafters throughout the park. There's a kids carnival area. Our Dora will be open for the event. And so it's going to be a fun time, except for me because I'm coming out of COVID and I can't go.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But
It does sound like a
that's
lot of fun,
okay.
though. It does sound like a good time. Maybe I need to go down there and,
You
put on my
definitely
favorite
will.
costume. That'd be great. Excellent. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm not there yet. Just give it time. You have to show up to Springfest to find out. Yeah. We're not meeting till August. So, for example, Joanne, do you want to comment on Americana and Centerville? We can just, if anybody has anything going on from now until then, yeah, the things are back. It's time to talk about good things.
Back, and I think they're expecting it to be bigger than ever.
Yeah.
So they've rerouted the parade a little bit, and they're moving some vendors down the street, down West Franklin, and it's going to be exciting.
Fourth of July.
It is on
Yeah,
the 4th.
4th of July,
Yeah,
yep.
It is, and there's the concert the night before, and the fireworks, I believe, are on the 4th this year. I'm not real sure about that.
Okay, yeah.
It might be on the 3rd.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
More details to follow. So get
Yeah.
these events on your calendars. Anybody else have anything else they want to talk about? Yes, Lisa.
No,
you go ahead.
No, go ahead, George.
After the August meeting, of course, there's Holiday at Home, which I am not, I'm in as an alum, but I know they're working on it.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
So Kettering Holiday at Home over the Labor Day weekend, that's,
Oh, yeah.
back, it was back last year.
That's a big project undertake, I know that, yes.
Well, then our next meeting will be the exciting 2-week approximate countdown to Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
Very straightforward.
All right, well, yeah, from one of our Kettering representatives, I hope to see some good detail on the Holiday at Home festivities. How about that at our August meeting? Lisa, do you have anything else?
Just looking at my calendar, May 26th, Kettering is having a police memorial at 3 p.m. at Beacon Park at the Phrase. And June 20th, we're having our city's first Juneteenth celebration. Tickets are $5. You can get them online or in person at the rec center, places like that. So I would encourage everyone to get a ticket. That's
All
it.
right. Thank
Covered
you.
Holiday at Home. So.
Thank you. Okay. A little after 4:30. We'll see you on August 17th. Meeting adjourned.